Welcome back to Grammar Grade 10. This is Unit 2, Lesson 14, and today we take the idea from last lesson and open it all the way up. Last time we hunted for the core words, the simple subject and the simple predicate. Today we claim the whole territory around them, the complete subject and the complete predicate. By the end of this lesson, you'll be able to take any sentence and slice it cleanly into two halves. Let's get started. Before we build anything new, let's stand on what we already know. Every sentence has two jobs. One half names who or what the sentence is about, and the other half tells what that subject does or is. In the last lesson, we went hunting for the core words. We found the simple subject, which is the core noun, and we found the simple predicate, which is the core verb. Today, we widen the lens. Instead of grabbing just the core word, we're going to take the whole half, the core word plus every single word that travels with it. So here's our first definition, and it's a generous one. The complete subject includes the simple subject, plus every word that modifies it. Look at this sentence. The tall lighthouse keeper painted the rusted door. Ask yourself, who painted? The keeper did. So keeper is the simple subject, the bare core word. But notice the sentence doesn't just say keeper. It says the tall lighthouse keeper. All four of those words together form the complete subject. What's left over is the other half of the sentence, painted the rusted door. And here's why those extra words belong on the subject side. The, tall, and lighthouse all lean on keeper. They point him out and describe him, so they ride with him. Now flip to the other side of the sentence. The complete predicate includes the simple predicate, the verb or verb phrase, plus all the words that complete or modify it. Take this sentence. The young violinist practiced quietly in the empty hall. The simple predicate is practiced. That's the bare verb, the engine of the whole sentence. But practiced all by itself doesn't tell the story. How did she practice? Quietly. Where? In the empty hall. Those words attach to the verb, so they ride inside the complete predicate too. Everything from the verb to the end of the sentence belongs to that second half. Here's the picture I want you to carry with you. Every sentence divides cleanly into exactly two halves. You can draw a single vertical line to show it. Watch. The driver of our school bus waits patiently. Where does the line go? It goes right after the word bus. Everything to the left of the line is the complete subject, the driver of our school bus. Everything to the right of the line is the complete predicate, waits patiently. And here's the part students forget. No word is left over. Every single word in that sentence lands on one side of the line or the other. Let's put the two ideas side by side, because simple and complete are not rivals. One lives inside the other. Our sentence, 3 noisy gulls from the harbor circled above the fishing boats. Start with the subject side. The simple subject is gulls, one bare noun. But the complete subject is the whole stretch, all 6 words of it. And notice that gulls is still in there, tucked right inside. Now the predicate side. The simple predicate is circled, one bare verb. And the complete predicate is circled above the fishing boats, with the verb sitting right at its front. So the simple word always sits inside the complete half. Find the core, then sweep in everything that belongs to it. Now for the mistake I see most often. Students find the simple subject and then they stop. They draw the line too early. Look at this. A box of dusty old photographs sat forgotten under the attic stairs. The simple subject is box. Fair enough. But look at what follows it. Of dusty old photographs. That phrase tells us nothing about the verb. It tells us which box we mean. So it modifies box, which means it belongs on the subject side. The complete subject is the whole thing, all 5 words. The predicate half starts only when we reach the verb, sat, and runs to the end of the sentence. So the line falls after photographs, not after box. When you're hunting for the split, don't stop at the first noun. Keep going until you hit the verb. Let's turn all of that into a 3-step routine you can run on any sentence. Step 1. Find the verb. The verb anchors the predicate half, so the moment you spot it, you know roughly where the line will go. Step 2. Ask who or what is doing that verb. The answer is your simple subject. Step 3. Sweep in every modifier. Every word that describes the subject joins the subject half, and every word that completes or describes the verb joins the predicate half. Then draw your line between the 2 halves and check your work. Is any word stranded? If a word is left over, you've drawn the line in the wrong place. Ready to practice? In this first set, I'll give you a sentence, and you tell me the complete subject, the core noun plus every word that modifies it. Remember the trap. Don't stop at the first noun. Pause the video and choose before I reveal each answer. 2 hungry raccoons raided the garbage bins. Ask who raided. The raccoons did, so raccoons is the simple subject. But 2 and hungry both describe them, so those words ride along on the subject side. The complete subject is 2 hungry raccoons. The cracked window above the sink leaked all winter. Careful here. This is exactly the trap we just talked about. The simple subject is window, and cracked describes it. But the phrase above the sink also tells us which window, so it stays on the subject side of the line. The complete subject is the cracked window above the sink. My grandmother's antique clock chimed at midnight. Where does the line fall? The verb is chimed, so the predicate half begins right there, and everything before it belongs to the subject. That gives us my grandmother's antique clock as the complete subject. Now we flip sides. In this set, you tell me the complete predicate, the verb plus every word that completes or modifies it, all the way to the end of the sentence. Pause and try each one before I answer. The tired hikers rested beside the cold stream. Now we want the complete predicate. The verb is rested. That's the simple predicate, the bare core. But where did they rest? Beside the cold stream. Those words complete the verb, so they belong to the predicate half. The complete predicate is rested beside the cold stream. A single candle burned in the window all night. The subject half is a single candle, so the line falls right after the word candle. Everything after that line is the predicate half. The complete predicate is burned in the window all night. The city's oldest bridge was closed for repairs. Here, the verb is really a verb phrase, was closed. That whole phrase is the simple predicate, and the words for repairs complete it. So the complete predicate is was closed for repairs. Let's pull it all together. The complete subject is the simple subject plus every word that modifies it. Not just the core noun, but the whole stretch that names who or what the sentence is about. The complete predicate is the simple predicate plus every word that completes or modifies it, the verb and everything writing behind it. And every sentence divides into exactly 2 halves. Draw one line, and each word lands on the subject side or the predicate side, with nothing stranded in between. Remember the trap. Don't stop at the first noun. Keep going until you hit the verb. In our next lesson, we'll see what happens when a sentence has more than one subject or more than one verb. I'll see you there.